Obviously they're gonna fall in love. I never annotate my books and I put little stars around it. Or are they kind of cute? Dare I say, this is feeling like a 5-star. Hello? What's his face? I don't even remember his name. Hi besties, welcome back, and we're back with another reading vlog. At the time that I'm starting this video, it is the end of July, but I'm kind of already switching into fall mode, but I really want to push myself to kind of soak up the last month of summer and not get ahead of myself and switch into fall mode too early and actually enjoy the season that I am in the nice weather and the summer vibes. I thought we could spend the week reading some summer reads. These are our contenders. And honestly, I have no idea what I'm gonna pick. I even texted our book bestie group chat and was like, you guys, please help me pick 3 books out of these options because I cannot decide. And they all chose 3 different ones, so that was unhelpful. We have Barefoot by Ellen Hildebrand. I got this last summer and I just didn't get the chance to read it. I haven't read an Ellen Hildebrand book in a little bit, so she's always a fun, just sort of literary summer read. The vibes are always really good, so this is definitely a strong contender. Then we have The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. This was on my monthly TBR a couple months ago. It was maybe on my May TBR and I just didn't get to it, and I do want to have some sort of rom-com or romance in here. It sounds very cute and summery. It's a love story by Annabelle Monaghan. I don't really know. I read Summer Romance by her last summer and it was one of my favorite rom-coms of the year. Her writing is so beautiful and that's the only book I've read by her, and so I've been really wanting to read another book by her. I think I might be leaning towards this one for my rom-com, but I don't know. Then we have Upon a Starlit Tide. This is sort of what I would consider a summer fantasy. It's a mermaid fantasy, so to me that feels like the most summery that a fantasy could be is when it's a mermaid with the ocean. I've heard the best things about this. Like, I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and it is a standalone fantasy, and I feel like it's really hard to find a good standalone fantasy, so I am highly considering this, and it's been a little bit since I've read a fantasy. So then we have The Wedding People. I'm sure everybody has heard of this. I've heard great things. I've heard it's really funny but also super fun, and I feel like this would be a really good summer read. Then we have The Shampoo Effect. This is a new release and it was my book of the month book for the month of July, so I am really wanting to get to it. How long is this? It's only 330-ish pages, so it's really not that long. But I don't know. I feel like what I'm leaning towards at the moment is having 1 literary fiction, 1 romance, and 1 fantasy. So because I didn't have any other fantasies, that kind of automatically puts Upon a Starlit Tide into the mix. I think I'm leaning towards It's a Love Story. I think this just sounds super cute and I've been dying to read another Annabelle Monaghan book, so I feel like this would be kind of perfect. I feel like because The Shampoo Effect is a new release, my excitedness to read this is going to go down the longer I wait to read it. I feel like I should read it soon before I kind of don't care about it anymore. I know that sounds bad, but I feel like this seems very summer to me. And these 2 I could maybe read not in a summer month. So I think the 3 we're gonna go with is It's a Love Story, Upon a Starlit Tide, and The Shampoo Effect. I do also have The Shampoo Effect downloaded as an audiobook. I do like to do an audiobook going and a physical book going usually, so I might start that audiobook today because I do have a couple like errands I need to run, things I need to do, so I might throw the audiobook of that one on so I can listen to that while I do that, and then I need to decide which physical book I need to start. It's been a little bit since I've read a fantasy, but also I'm kind of in a romance mood and might need something a little bit faster paced to balance out like a literary fiction. So I don't know. Maybe this one? I don't know. I need to think on that a little bit more on which physical book I want to start, so I'm going to think on that and then I will let you guys know when I decide to start one. First initial reactions and thoughts of The Shampoo Effect. I'm 29 pages in, only on chapter 2. It's about our main character Caroline, who meets this guy named Van. He's this very like outdoorsy, describes him as this kayak guy with floppy hair. they meet each other, and kind of right off the bat they start to fall for each other. A couple weeks in, Van finds out that one of his very close friends is pregnant with his baby. They had dated in high school and they had hooked up long before him and Caroline kind of started dating, so it's not a situation of cheating, anything like that. But they kind of, him and that friend named Bailey, they'd kind of always been on and off again, not necessarily dating but just hooking up, and she decides that she wants to keep it and have this baby. So this is a surprise to him, it's a surprise to Bailey, it's a surprise to Caroline, and my initial thoughts are, I can't even imagine what I would do in this situation. Like, I feel like it's so easy to be like, oh, I would just get the heck out of there. But when you're already falling for someone and you feel like you really have a potential of a future with that person, and this just might be a speed bump. They are also a little bit older. I mean, not old by any means, but they're all in their 30s. They are at that age where they're like, okay, we are kind of ready for kids. Caroline kind of being like, you know what, it's not the plan that I was planning on, but doesn't mean that I can't, like, I still can't be with him, or we still can't figure this out. Just, I don't know where this is gonna go, because I have a feeling that how my romance brain works, Van has probably always been in love with Bailey, now the mother of his child, and I can see where if someone is going to be the mother of your child, you would start to feel for them in a certain way a little bit more. Maybe you didn't in the past, but I feel like maybe at some point Van is going to realize maybe I do want to give this a try with Bailey so that this child can have parents who are together. I can't really speak on It's a Love Story quite yet. I'm only like 10 pages a chapter in, so I don't really have many thoughts on that yet, but those are my sort of initial thoughts on the shampoo effect. I'm gonna sit down to read It's a Love Story for a little bit, and I just wanted to give a quick little update. I'm 18 pages in, and I don't really feel like it's quite like grabbing my attention yet. So far we have our main character, Jane. I don't know if she's technically considered like a screenwriter, but she wrote a script for essentially a movie that she's trying to get produced, and she's having this big meeting, like this is going to be her big break at this meeting, and they're essentially like, this script is really good, we'll give you that, but we don't feel like it's going to grab an audience unless there's like a big name put to the movie, like if there's a big actor or something, big director, something or the other. Like they were like, I don't know if this is gonna drive box office views unless there's a big name attached to it. She decides to tell them that she knows this like famous singer who's like having his big break right now, and she could get him to write a song for the movie. And she does know him from back in high school, but she hasn't talked to him since then. So she's like, yeah, we talk all the time. Like, I could easily get him to write a song for this movie. Like, easy, boom, let's make this movie. And they're like, okay. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is she's going to have to reach out to him somehow and be like, so here's the deal. I'm not too worried about it. Like, I'm not worried that I'm not going to like it. Like, I am very much in the early stages of the book, but I'm not feeling that like pull to be like, oh, I need to pick up this book, if that makes sense. I think I just need to get a little bit farther into it. Maybe once our two main characters meet, then I will feel a little bit more excited. A little update on the shampoo effect. I actually have been listening to a lot of this. The chapters are very long. Chapter 7. Yeah, the chapters are very, very long. I'm on chapter 7 and chapter 7 is page 125. And I am really liking it. It is very character driven. I feel like there's two sides to this story and not necessarily like one person's the bad guy, one person's the good guy. I feel so bad for Caroline though. And their like friend group is super close knit. And I feel like they're not very nice to her. I feel like if I saw someone like Caroline in that situation, dating a guy that everyone thought he was going to end up with someone else, like I would try to be so nice and be like, try to make sure that she knew she wasn't doing anything wrong or she wasn't the bad guy. But I feel like they're just constantly having conversations that they know that she can't participate in. Like all they talk about is like memories from high school, or oh, do you remember that one time Van and Bailey did this? And I feel like they're just constantly bringing up stuff that they know that she's gonna feel excluded from, or conversations that they know she can't really participate in. I don't necessarily think all of them are doing it on purpose, but it's just a little frustrating because I feel very bad for Caroline. She seems like super sweet and super nice. It's kind of annoying me. It's just like, I just feel so bad for her. And like I said, hello. That's my little update for now. So that was my little rant. Okay. I'm gonna need to deal with this situation. So I'm gonna continue reading, and as always, we'll keep you updated. I honestly really felt like crap today, and all I wanted to do was come home and literally get in bed and just read my book. So that is what we're doing. What it is, I think my body's telling me that I'm overworking myself because I've been working a lot and I'm so tired. I read like a chapter on my lunch break today, and I did realize as I was reading it that I think I misexplained, or not necessarily misexplained, but I think I mixed up the two characters from The Shampoo Effect and then from this book when I was explaining it earlier. When I was talking about It's a Love Story, I thought she was a screenwriter. She's not a screenwriter, but she is doing something with the movie. Like, she found this script and is like, this script has a lot of potential. Mixed it up because Caroline, the main character in The Shampoo Effect, she is a writer, so I think I was like meshing the two in my head. But now that we got that figured out, actually where I'm at is she finally got a hold of Jack Quinlan. She got a hold of Jack Quinlan's manager. He basically was like, Jack does not remember who you are, and he says no, he does not want to write a song for this movie. Everything is like riding on this movie and getting it greenlit. Like, this would be her big break in her LA career. Oop, okay, just lost my spot. Awesome. Another thing that's kind of not essential, but backstory to our main character, Jane. She was on a sitcom-ish when she was younger. She was always known as like the funny one, not the cool one, not the pretty one. Like, she was the funny one that everyone kind of made fun of and laughed at. A lot of where this need to make it big in the industry comes from, because she has always wanted to be the one that is finally taken seriously instead of the funny one and the one that people make jokes about. Call her Janie, like, in the show, and I'm like, hey, that's me. Hey, that's me. We are going to hunker in for the night because I don't feel great. So I just want to lay in bed and read my book. Maybe we'll watch a little bit of YouTube. Mostly just spending the rest of my night in my bed is the plan. I don't really care what I do. I just do not want to move out of my bed. Okay, I guess I'm just doing a terrible job at explaining this book / even reading the back. I don't know why I thought the romance was between Jane and this artist guy that she's trying to convince to write a song. It's actually between Jane and her coworker that she does not like, because I was reading and I was like, wait, why are they kind of cute together? This is so fun. And then I read the back. Now Jane must turn to the last man she'd ever want to owe, Dan Finnegan, because Jack is playing a festival in Dan's hometown and Dan has an inn. A week in close quarters with Dan as she faces down her past is Jane's idea of hell, but he might just surprise her. While covering up her lie, can they find something true? Which, you know what, this is why I like going into books blind, honestly, because that was such a fun little surprise. Like, I wasn't going into it, like, looking for something romantic between her and Dan, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait, why are they kind of cute? Why am I getting some vibes here? Finally fell victim to these glasses, and now that I have them on, I'm like, are these glasses ugly? And we are all just decided that they were cute as a society, but they're actually not cute. Like, I see other people wear them and they look so cute, but do they look cute? don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. We're just gonna wear them, okay? Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I am on page 245. I have a little bit less than 100 pages left. I was actually able to get a lot of reading done today. Dare I say, this is feeling like a 5-star. I hate to put it out in the universe like that because I don't want the universe to laugh at me and then make it not a 5-star, but I fear Annabelle Monaghan is becoming one of my favorite romance authors of all time. I know that is a bold statement, but I read Summer Romance by her last summer and it was my favorite romance of the year. And I'm picking this one up. This is probably my favorite romance I've read this year so far. It is so good. If you have not read an Annabelle Monaghan book, what are you doing? What are you doing? Literally when I was at work today, I immediately put Dolly All the Time on order because I was like, I need more. I need more of her writing. Her writing is amazing. I was at work and it was a really slow day and I read quite a bit on lunch and then also just in between customers when the store was empty, and I was fully laughing out loud, smiling to myself. Like my coworker kept looking at me being like, girl, are you good? I'm like, no, this book is so good. This book is so good. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Like, hold on. I must read these 2 paragraphs to you. He looks at me for a beat, and it's not about the berries. When you smile at me, I feel like I want to capture it, but it's not the regular way, like when I see something beautiful and I want to photograph it. When you smile, it does something to me. I feel it in my chest, and I want to figure out how to get you to do it again. I'm sorry, but that should be illegal. I never annotate my books, and I put little stars around it. I feel like I need to catch you guys up because I did do a lot of reading today. We've had so many cute moments. I honestly don't even remember like what was happening the last time I checked in. They basically have been on this big pursuit to get Jack Quinlan, this artist, to make a song for their movie. They find out that Jack is going to be at this music festival or whatever in New York. Dan's family is from New York, so he's like, perfect, we can go. I'll go with you. We can stay at my parents' house. And we can go for like a week and try and bump into him, try and get in contact with him while he's in town. They've been spending this whole week at his parents' house. It's his parents' 40th anniversary. And so his entire family is also staying at the house. He has 5 brothers and then 9 nieces and nephews. So it is a packed house. Just the entire like family dynamic brought in an element that like I didn't know I needed in a romance book. Like how she's bonding with their family and they're just so loud and rambunctious, and she talks a lot in her monologue about how like it was just her mom, her dad passed away, and her house has always been quiet and she's never really had this great example of like what true love is like. Her mom has always struggled in that aspect. And so wholesome. Like there's been so many times where I was like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever read. And they're just so welcoming to her and also super funny and sarcastic. They finally have like this big party for their parents' 40th anniversary, and obviously she goes. It's like this huge thing. Like a bunch of people from the town come, this super small town, and they all do like these big speeches, and it's super wholesome. And she's kind of like watching this party and this beautiful family, and this is her thoughts, I guess. This feels like wealth, I think. This is the thing you save up for. You live your whole life so that you can be surrounded by too many people in too small of a room and tell the story of how it all happened. She's just watching his parents like be together, and they're telling about the first time they met, having this realization when she's been just so closed off to love her entire life, being like, this is what it's supposed to feel like, and this is like so beautiful. This is the kind of love that you see in the movies. Kind of also has that realization of like, this is why I'm fighting so hard for this movie to get made, is because this is the feeling that this movie represents to her. That is where we're at. I feel like I just yapped for a very long time, and I hope you guys are caught up and that makes sense. I've been really into the book and I think I'm gonna finish it today, so we're gonna sit down, we're gonna read for probably until I finish it. saying the sweetest things. My heart literally can't take this. It's so sweet. Her writing is so good. Hi. I got my coffee and my little protein waffle. I did finish It's a Love Story last night and it was so good. 5-star. Absolute 5-star. Probably my favorite rom-com that I've read this year. It is so good. I just could not put it down. Unexpected element of found family and like nostalgia. I really do think that the element of family like really made this entire book. Marie and Dan's family and how they interacted in this whole ensemble of characters made this book everything and more. It was so good. And Annabelle Monaghan's writing is so good. Now it's time to start Upon a Starlit Tide. I am excited to start this. I feel like this has been on my radar for quite a while, that I'm excited to actually read it. I'm not really 100% sure what it's about. I obviously know it's a mermaid fantasy. I'm pretty sure it's like a mix between a Cinderella and The Little Mermaid sort of situation. I have just heard the best things about this, and what's most appealing is that this is a standalone fantasy, and I feel like nowadays every fantasy that's coming out is a series and they're all unfinished, and it's so overwhelming and annoying to start like 20 different fantasy series and they're all unfinished, and then by the time they come out you're like, I don't even remember anything from this. I'm very glad that this is a standalone. So we're gonna eat our breakfast and we're gonna drink our coffee and we're gonna start our new book, which I just love the vibes of this. About 75% of the way through The Shampoo Effect. I have, I think, a little under 2 hours left in the audiobook, and I have a lot of errands I need to run today, so I think I'm actually going to be able to finish this. I have some thoughts and I don't really know how to explain them without spoiling. Too mad about how the way things panned out, and I feel like this whole book you're not really supposed to pick a side. Like, I feel like this entire book I thought, oh, maybe I feel really bad for this character, and then the other second I'm like, oh, they're so annoying. I feel like this whole story is just a story of flawed human beings and this whole friend group that is just, the whole point of the story is just to represent so many different stories. I don't think I'm explaining this very well, but I think it's just very slice of life, and it's all just supposed to show sort of humans, and nobody's perfect, and sometimes people are annoying, sometimes you root for them, sometimes you hate them, and nothing works out the way you thought it was going to, but also everything works out how it's supposed to, if that makes sense. Now, I am really enjoying it. This is not usually the genre of fiction that I kind of gravitate towards. I am enjoying it. It is a good book. It's just not something that I usually pick up. It's more about each of these individuals and learning empathy for people, but then also those same people annoying the crap out of you, and then at the same time you're rooting for those people. And I feel like there's not like a good side or a bad side. No one's a good guy or a bad guy. Everyone's just doing their best sort of situation. As for Upon a Starlit Tide, which I left upstairs, so you know what I'm talking about, I am only like 50 pages in, and I was having a little bit of a hard time getting into it, but now that I feel like I've gotten into it, I'm enjoying it. First like 20 pages, there was barely any dialogue, and also the storytelling is like, that's what the writing is. It's very much told like a fairy tale. Imagine the whole thing in a British accent. Once upon a time in a land far ago. That is exactly what it feels like. Now that we're kind of in it a little bit more, I am really enjoying it. It very, very much is Little Mermaid, Cinderella-esque. Like, just right off the jump, it starts with her saving a drowning man from the ocean. And then it also talks about she has like a cave where she keeps all of her trinkets. Like, it very much feels like a retelling. We're gonna focus on Shampoo Effect today. I don't know how much reading we're gonna do of Upon a Starlit Tide, but it would be good just to finish one of our books today. It is a little bit windy out here, so I'm hoping that isn't messing with the audio too much. I do have some reading updates. Did finish The Shampoo Effect and I really enjoyed it. It took a couple turns that I wasn't expecting, nor was I really excited about, but I didn't feel like that was what the book was about. I didn't feel like it was supposed to be a book where everything went your way or it was a happy ending. It was genuinely just a story about humans and connections and kind of some effed up family life and friendship dynamics. It wasn't my absolute favorite book of all time. I'm not really a big slice of life book reader. I usually need a little bit of a stronger plot, but I did enjoy this and I am happy I read it because I feel like I'm really trying to get to know my reading taste a little bit more. I probably wouldn't have even tried a book like this a year ago, so I am happy I read it. It wasn't like an absolute like mind-blowing book, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. I thought the audiobook was pretty good, so I do definitely recommend the audiobook. I ended up rating this 3.5. I feel like a 3-star for me is like, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I'm more on the like side, but I'm kind of just pretty indifferent, and so I feel like a 3.5 is good. I enjoyed it, but it's probably not a book that I'm going to come back to or necessarily like recommend. Now for Upon a Starlit Tide, I am actually on page 179. I did a lot of reading over the last couple of days and I am really enjoying it. I feel like this is very whimsical. It is very much written like a fairy tale. She just went to a ball where I guess some sort of sea creature. She wasn't a mermaid, but she was supposed to be like, I'm assuming, the fairy godmother, and she gave her these glass slippers that were made out of the sea because her feet always hurt, because I'm assuming she's obviously a mermaid, so her feet have always hurt her entire life. So she made her these glass slippers made from the sea, and for the first time in like forever, her feet didn't hurt while on land. She made her this beautiful gown. As far as the romance, we have Samuel, who is like a little bit more of a guy best friend situation. Not really, like you can definitely tell she has some sort of maybe feelings towards him as she's gotten older and matured, and he has never really treated her like a lady. Like he taught her how to sail, things like that. And then there's Morgan, who he is the prince that she saved from drowning right at the beginning of the book, and I am just like not fully convinced on Morgan. I feel like there's something suspicious and something that he's hiding. There are these things called, I think they're called storm stones, I don't know, and I'm pretty sure they're good luck. People like take them on ships when you do long journeys. It's supposed to like give you good luck or protection on the sea. Find out that Morgan's ship went down and they lied about having storm stones, so they said they didn't have it because they didn't want any like scavengers to go out into the water and try to take it from the wreck. And they did, because obviously she saved him from the wreck, so she knew that they had it. So she went with Samuel, the other love interest, who is a scavenger, and they went and got the stormstone. And now Morgan just found out that someone took it and he's not happy. So he's like, I'm gonna find whoever took the stormstone and they're gonna pay. We'll see what happens. We're just gonna continue reading and see how it unfolds. I literally just woke up, like I haven't even gotten out of bed yet, but I wanted to do a little check-in because I do have less than 100 pages left. I finally made it to part 3. I just woke up and I was doing some reading. I was like, oh, I should probably check in with you guys. I am really enjoying it. I do feel like, I don't know. The action is definitely picking up. When I was reading yesterday, she finally found out that she's a mermaid, and that was kind of cool. She has this gorgeous like pink and green and blue tail, and all of the writing is very like descriptive in a good way. I said this already, but it's very fairy tale-esque. I feel like I'm reading a fairy tale. Things are heating up because we know that Morgan knows that Samuel took the stormstone, so things are getting a little bit crazy, and I believe he's about to kind of not capture them, but like find them and bad things are probably gonna happen if he finds them, but it's really good. I'm curious to see how she's gonna wrap this up because this is a standalone and I'm so used to fantasies leaving on some sort of cliffhanger because I'm used to them being a series. So I'm curious to see how she's gonna wrap this up in less than 100 pages now, because there are still a lot of unanswered questions. Like, we don't even see her turn into a mermaid until like 70% of the way into the book. I'm just gonna keep reading. I am determined to finish this today. We're gonna finish this today. I can do it. I know I can do it. Got some news, people. I have just finished Upon a Starlit Tide and I really enjoyed it. And I don't necessarily know what my exact thoughts are. I definitely enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. That sounds like I didn't enjoy it. I had a really good time. I ended up rating this a 3.5. I think where I'm really struggling is the battle between wanting a standalone fantasy, but also because you're not spending a ton of time with these characters, you don't really get as attached. I found myself during the last little bit when the stakes were getting really high, not caring, but I kind of was just like, oh, whatever happens, happens. Like, I know there's not another book after this, so it must wrap up in some way. And I did actually really enjoy how it ended. I was intrigued to see how they were going to wrap all of this up into one ending. Was it going to be an open ending or was it going to be a solid ending? I really enjoyed how it ended. It wasn't an all-time favorite fantasy for me, but I do think it was really well written and very atmospheric and fairy tale like. So if you like that kind of fantasy, then you probably will really like this. I think a little bit of a pet peeve that I had was that we didn't really see her become a mermaid until like 70% into the book. I know I kind of mentioned this already, but I wish we got more of her learning to be a mermaid. It kind of, she finds out she's a mermaid and then it alludes in the epilogue that she, how do I say this without spoiling, like learns more about being a mermaid or really dives into that mermaid side of her. And I wish we got to see actually more of that and learning about being a mermaid and swimming and being underwater. We didn't really get a lot of underwater life, if you will. So I don't feel like we got to experience her as a mermaid a lot. I do overall think it was a good fantasy and I had a good time. I thought it was super fun. And I do feel like it was a fun standalone fantasy. I like that it was a standalone. Those are my thoughts on Upon a Starlit Tide. I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's vlog. I think it was good for me to kind of for a week focus on doing some summer reads because my mind is just jumping into fall already, but I'm really trying to make myself soak up the last bits of summer a little bit more. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and reading some summer books. I hope you found some that maybe you want to pick up in the last month of summer. I do want to quickly just say that I am feeling so insanely grateful. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on here and you have no idea like how long I have dreamed of doing YouTube, and the fact that I can think about there are almost 10,000 of you, that's insane. And I just feel like you guys are all my besties. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me, and I'm getting emo, but I'm just feeling so grateful. I can't believe we're almost to like my first really big milestone on here. So I am just feeling very grateful for all of you. Don't forget to do all the things like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.